Why is your hair so long and usually you have like facial hair and you don't have any facial hair and you got this long hair? What are you doing?
I know, mixing it up a little bit.
I mean, dude, look at this, dude. I'm in my comfy. You ever hear one of these or no?
No. I did like the Matt Damon part the other day. I don't think it'll do it right now. It won't do it. But it was like all parted in the front. New year, new me, buddy.
Joe Rogan did their protect our parks like part 5, and they were talking about like the crypto people, and okay. Joe Rogan brought up the Matt Damon thing about how like investing in crypto was like walking on the moon or flying a plane for the first time, like the Wright brothers. And they're all like, Joe's like, I really love Matt Damon, but what the hell was he saying?
Yeah, I mean, it's like NFTs too. Like everyone jumped on that bandwagon, and it's like people are coming out as fraudsters left and right with that, right?
I mean, I lightly invest in crypto, but I'm not going to talk about the details of it. But yeah,
I mean, it was like, so FTX was a pretty big deal from what I understand, but it's not like.
And your boy Tom Brady was the head person of it, like being introducing FTX.
I know. It's not like Bitcoin or Ethereum went under, at least not yet, right?
No, but they're yeah. I know obviously this is going away from this type of health and fitness podcast, but I think the only two that kind of make sense right now is Ethereum and Bitcoin. Everything else is kind of just like, yeah, it's kind of weird because it's like everything, those two are really used for like currency and whatnot, and like the NFT space still and whatnot. So
yeah, I mean, they're still the largest crypto providers. So I don't know, man. It's a crazy new world. I just say be careful out there. Gainz Nation, if you're like trying to invest in anything like that. If you do, fine. Just know it should be a very small portion of your portfolio, like very, very small.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm moving to my bedroom because it's a nonstop construction work site here. So
yeah, I was gonna ask you about that, but
it never ends. It never ends. Gainz Nation.
But
Gainz.
Roman's back. I mean, Roman's back for the podcast. Last episode, he wasn't even here. Look at that. Gainz podcast did one without Roman. How dare we?
That was crazy.
But if you didn't check it out, it was a pretty good one. We talked about pregnancy and fitness. We talked about how like Sam's point of view on it, some of the ideas around it, some of the precautions, some of the supplements. And too, like which I didn't even know until Sam was talking about it too, which the biggest thing out of the whole thing was pretty cool because so she was like I'll obviously sum it up, but if anyone wants to listen more, like listen to the last one. But like she wasn't able to really lift like the first trimester. She was just too sick, too nauseous, all that good stuff. But like she said that until like she's obviously on her third trimester right now, but like ever since she's been like lifting and, you know, obviously larger every time it just gets large, she's getting larger and larger each week. She said that like her sleep improved quite a bit because of, I guess the muscles surrounding were able to like cushion her a little bit better, I guess, if that makes sense. But pretty much she has to like sleep on her side. But I didn't realize that was the case. And like, that's pretty awesome. But like that was like the one improvement because she's been working out with me. I think like 3 or 4 days a week, I'd say. She usually doesn't work out on the weekends, but I go 5 days a week, but she's been going like 3 or 4 days a week with me. So that's like one of the coolest things about it that I found out. Like I didn't even know about that coming in. And I bet people are like, he probably knew about that. I'm like, nope. So I'm only telling this now because obviously I wanted to tell you as well, but.
That's really cool. That's really cool. I'm glad that Sam like was able to find that out too, because oh my goodness, I couldn't imagine going 9 months with like having like terrible sleep. And it's funny because I was talking to one of our buddies earlier, and he was like, does Antoine know what he's like in for? Like having like no sleep for the first like couple of few years of his like his young child's life and stuff like that. I was like, he probably doesn't know, but he's about to find out.
All I gotta say is the gains are gonna continue no matter what. So I'm ready for it.
Let's see it, buddy. There's actually a bet out there, over under, that you're gonna put on 10 or 15 pounds within the first year.
Well, speaking of the topic of today, I mean, after the marathon, I mean, I've told you individually, I mean, I'm like floating around 195, 197, but like I told you individually that I'm probably going to get up to like 205 anyway. So, I mean, that's going to be purposeful. So,
True.
so I mean, right there, it's going to be like 10 pounds. So, I mean, whoever's been the, over of 10 to 15 pounds is going to win no matter what, because I gained like 10 to 15 pounds after the marathon because I just want to focus on like strength.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I don't want to talk about too much because I don't know if we should maybe talk about the Olympia first and then do that. I do want to note that I did bike 30 miles this week instead of running. So,
hey, buddy, that's sick.
Indoor biking, not outdoor.
Oh, okay.
You know, honestly, I kind of just I kind of am trying. I'm pretty much I'm like cutting out the outdoor stuff. Maybe next week, because supposedly next week it's going to be in the 50s outside. But yeah, I just looked at it after like this cold front this like today and tomorrow and like Saturday. But like I think I might do like one more outdoors run. But see, the thing is, it's also saying it's like raining and stuff. So it's been rough. But I mean, T-minus what, like 2 weeks until the marathon. So I'm ready to get it over with and get it done. So I'm ready to I'm ready for that. So
that's awesome, buddy. What exact day is it again?
January 8th.
January 8th. Okay, so
so that's Sunday. Unfortunately, I might. Well, if I get it done in the 4 hours or whatever that I'm trying to get it done, I'll be able to catch the Vikings game because it is in Florida and they're in Eastern time. I should be able to catch it because it'll start at 11 a.m. Or no, sorry. It starts at 1 p.m. their time. That's better for me. So I'll be able to relax a little bit, maybe catch a good meal, and then watch the Vikings game in Disney somewhere. I don't know. I'm supposed to go to the park too, so I don't know. We'll see. I might enjoy it instead of worrying about it, but I'm telling you, it's too close. The Patriots are screwing themselves over this year too, and I'm getting really sad about it. They're like so close now. Their percentage just keeps dropping and dropping. Also, too, I know we're chit-chatting about this stuff, but they're going to call Devontae Adams a touchdown, but not Justin Jefferson. Devontae Adams clearly stepped out of bounds in the end zone. Justin Jefferson against the Lions did not step out of bounds. So NFL, if you're listening, you're getting these calls completely wrong.
It wasn't Devontae Adams. I forget who it.
Oh no, was it? Wait, why am I? Wait. No, it was. I thought it was.
No.
Is it another wide receiver?
It was a different wide receiver. It wasn't Hunter Renfrow. It wasn't.
No, you don't need to look it up. Just we just know that the Raiders got 7 points for nothing. No.
I'm curious now. Because I was like, oh dang, I don't know if I know this guy. Shoot, Keelan Cole is who it was.
Either way, it's like that. It's like that stuff, and then they called back two of Sullivan's touchdowns on defense for the Vikings when they're clearly touchdowns. So,
but since we're on the topic, that was an absolutely absurd game.
Hey, if you're not having a heart attack by the time you're done watching a Vikings game, you're not a fan. You know?
Oh my God! How were they down 33-0 though at one point?
Kurt, you know, every time they have a meme of like when Kirk Cousins starts drinking out of the Gatorade cup on the sideline, that's when you know he's gonna come back.
That was so freaking ridiculous. That was so ridiculous. I'm like, oh my God, watch this. They're gonna pull your typical Vikings move. They're gonna freaking come back and they're gonna win it.
Well, maybe
Chris.
Maybe the Bears will prove you wrong, and then they'll beat the Buffalo Bills tomorrow for you. I mean
Oh,
Saturday.
I hope so.
Well, I wanted them to beat the Eagles. They were close.
At this point, I kind of want the Bills. No, because I want the Bills to lose to the Patriots in Week 18, but I wouldn't mind if they won out because I think the Bills are the team. I think I'd rather if the Patriots somehow do make it in the playoffs. God forbid. I like wing and prayer right now. We're looking so. I honestly think we're looking like the worst team in the league. Our offense, at least. It's really sad to see, and I hate to say that, but
that's funny how you say that when like the Bears and the Packers have a worse record than you get.
But better offenses like Justin Fields could take off at any point and like run it in, and like Aaron Rodgers will just like throw a freaking bomb to Randall Cobb, who like crawls out of his like crypt because he's so old, and we'll catch one in the back of the end zone. You know, it's like, my God, I hope that we can figure out something.
Well, at least the Patriots are better than the Jets, I think. Maybe the Jets, I think they're the most overrated team. And I told you in the beginning, and you told me, you're like, you got to be careful. Jets are really good. And then
really good. Their biggest issue, Breece Hall went down. Wait till that guy comes back next year. He's a freaking animal. I was wrong about him at the beginning of the season. I was like, oh, who's this Breece Hall guy? Blah, blah, blah. It's like all this smoke. He's going to be another like Josh Rosen, but as a running back. And he was just freaking running. He was literally running over people. And he was helping out because Zach Wilson is an absolute freaking like, he's a basket case because he's freaking like, I don't know, his arm is like, he's got a strong arm from what I understand, but he's just like all over the place, super inaccurate, makes dumb decisions. Like, you know, he just like hums it up in the air for the Patriots to pick it off. Like, I'll take it, but it was a freaking gimme in our first game against him. So he just makes boneheaded decisions. I think Mike White, maybe a better play call. Better play caller. And then Joe Flacco is just like so old. It's just like he's kind of there just in case.
Wait, they have Joey Flacco?
They have Joe Flacco. Isn't that crazy?
He's only good for the Ravens for that little bit. That's about it.
Yeah, for sure.
He's a good teacher though. Hopefully he's teaching them something.
That's exactly it. So I think the Jets, they could be like a formidable opponent next year if Breece Hall is able to be healthy. But
so Roman.
Yeah.
Did you the Olympia? What did you think, buddy? I do kind of want to talk about like what Ben, whatever his name is, posted about the pictures, the one I sent you too. But what did you think prior to that?
Oh, like what is that guy's name? Dan something. He was talking. Are you talking about like the Christmas tree?
Yeah, I thought it was Ben some. Maybe, is it Dan?
I don't know.
I could look it up.
Robbie something was like hating last year on the Arnold and Olympia for like conditioning too.
Oh, Barry DeMay.
Barry DeMay, that's who it is. Yeah. So I didn't watch the live stream. I watched some videos that kind of broke it down. I'm really pumped for Hadi. I wouldn't say he's like a fan favorite of mine, but he's been like coming in like super, super sharp every year, especially the past few years. So that was really cool to see. I do feel bad for Big Ramy because he was looking pretty sharp, like about a week out is what everyone's saying. But he was just like all like watery, and he's like been battling with some injuries. So it just like the final product that he presented on stage, unfortunately, was not like, I guess, up to snuff, especially for like the judges. But the person who shocked me the most when I like first started watching like reaction videos or like watching like different call-outs and whatnot was actually Derek Lunsford. Holy smokes. I think this was his first year in Open. I think he moved up from 212. And I was seeing him blow up this year. And I was like, oh dang, he could be a contender. But then I kind of got off like following bodybuilding for a while. Like most of the summer, I haven't like followed bodybuilding that close since like maybe the spring. I check in every once in a while. But I saw Derek on stage and I was just like, oh my God, he must have placed well. So congrats to him for second place. You looked phenomenal. You did a great job. Great presentation, great like level of conditioning. Congrats to Nick Walker. He's like continuing to climb up the stage, coming in at third place. I was shocked to see certain people like Ian kind of slide a little bit. I think Ian was like 11th or 12th. It was cool to see.
Quick thing, man. Do you think Nick's gonna be able to get the top spot soon enough, or what?
I don't know how he can improve.
I mean, it's just crazy because like he out of Hottie, Nick, and like Brandon Curry, let's just say, like those are the three guys like I pay attention to the most. I feel like out of the top 5.
Yeah.
And I just think he's just like insane. But see, the thing is, I think it's the idea of because I pay attention to those people and it's like just them. It's hard to like, because I don't pay attention to everybody, unfortunately. But like someone like him reminds me of what's his face? It was a guy that passed away. What was his name? The big dude that used to work out like Flex Lewis, the one who died choking.
Sandow?
No, the guy who died choking. What was his name?
Dallas,
yeah. He reminded me of him, just not as like beefy, I guess, because probably Dallas was probably heavier, but
I could see that. I guess, yeah, I could see that. I don't know. Nick he's very appropriately named his nickname, the Mutant, because he's like an absolute freak of nature.
Yeah, and also good on Hottie because the fact that I feel like he's been toughing it out for a while because he's like a veteran too. I mean, it's like he's been there forever and he's been like showing up every time. And I know you're about to mention it, but like I'm just amazed. Maybe I'm not amazed because it's just like I think it's like change of like refs or judges, I should say. But like even like Brandon Curry kind of surprised me coming in at 4th. And then is Big Romney Mamdo?
Yeah.
Mandau. And Big Romney number 5. It's like crazy. It's like those two right there were the tops. Like they that's just like insane to me to see that. And then like, but I get it though. Nick Walker's been like working his tail off for what? The past like 5 years just to get to the top 3. Yeah. So.
Well, last year was his first Olympia, I believe.
I know, but I'm saying like in general, like not on the Olympia stage, but like yeah. Do you think Phil Heath? I mean, I know Phil Heath for sure is going to come back. Do you think he's going to place top 5?
Phil Heath has crazy structure, but he has such issues with like gut distension lately. So like, I don't think I think the issue is like with the food and the drugs that he has to push. I don't know if he can come in as like his former Phil Heath self. So I don't know with where he is at currently. If he could.
Yeah, someone like him or Kai Green. I just wish they made a comeback in Olympia. I know Kai Green. Yeah. I know Kai Green's mentioned that he'll never come back because he'd rather go to the Arnold than the Olympia because of the politics around Olympia.
Yeah.
Which I don't even know. Like, see, the thing is, I'm not too sure. I don't even know how that makes sense. But because of the way he started bodybuilding, I think that's the reason why they never let him win a Olympia. And he said it himself. And we've talked about it. Like, he just, he was, abandoned as a little kid. He was adopted. He was like doing things for money. I'm not going to say, like, you could look it up. But like he was doing things, but hey, he is who he is because of that. Like he's obviously in a way better path in person now than he was. So
yeah,
but
he's so dynamic. It would be so amazing to see. But like, I can tell you exactly what's going to end up happening. He's going to make some hype YouTube videos. He's going to work out with, maybe Who'd he work out with? He would work out with Blessing because I know they work out at the same gym. He might work out with like Nick Walker, and be like, I'm gonna make my comeback, This is Mr. AKA getting it done, Kai Green. And then he'll say that he's gonna do it, and then he'll like throw out some ebooks and shit like that, and then he just won't.
Yeah.
So I think his bodybuilding, like his competing days, like he'll still do guest appearances and stuff, but I don't know. I kind of feel like he's lost it and he doesn't want to go there where he needs to go for like 12 to 16 to 20 weeks. I don't think he wants to do that.
Yeah, and also too, that's good points. I mean, if you want to go in the 212, let me know. Honestly, I don't know anyone besides Ahmad in the 212s, to be honest. That top 5, I'm looking at the list and I'm trying to look at like the people. Don't know any of them. Maybe it's because I'm a fan of the bigger open class. So
I just took down Sean Clarita because I mean he wins 212 every year, but he's really the only one that like I'll follow.
He's like the Flex Lewis now of 212.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm surprised Ahmad doesn't ever win any. Has he won one? Because I feel like he's like, because he works out in the same gym that I'm pretty sure Hadi does. Like, yeah, that Middle Eastern gym. I forgot what it's called. It's like it has like a pretty cool name to it.
Is it Oxygen or does
Yeah. I think that's it.
Nice.
Yeah. Because it's like a name that you never see for a gym. It's like name a gym like Hydrogen or like I don't know. I'm not even gonna come out anymore, but it's like. But yeah, I think Ahmad works out at Oxygen, just like I think Brandon Curry actually went there, and so did Cedric McMillan maybe before he passed. Like he was at Oxygen for a little bit.
Yeah.
Shout out to Cedric, man. I loved him, man. He was good. He was a good performer.
Yeah, for sure. He was a good dude too. Like so many people have.
Yeah, he was like serving while he was competing in Olympia. He was like always serving.
Yeah.
I don't know if he was in like the reserve, let's just say, where it's, I don't know if you would say easy, but it's easier than, people, flying to like different countries and actually doing missions. But I don't know if he was in like the reserves or he was actually like active military doing like missions or not. So
yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know.
I'm not gonna comment on that. That's out of my realm. Sorry.
Could you imagine seeing that guy like running after you?
I mean, if anything, I would be more scared of like someone like Ronnie Coleman. He was like a city police officer in Texas.
I know.
Get pulled over that guy, they'd be like peeing their pants.
I'd be so stoked if Ronnie Coleman came up to pull me over. I'd be like, Ronnie, what's up, man? How you doing?
And I'm pretty sure he also drove like a motorcycle too, partially, I think maybe.
I think you might be right. Yeah. His like quads are freaking absolutely ridiculous. He hops off a freaking chopper.
Yeah, I love his he's had the same answer for like this question that he's been asked like a million times because of how bad his back is and whatnot. Everyone's always asking him, what's his like biggest regret? He goes, trying to hit that 800 pounds, one more rep. He goes, that was heavy, but I'm pretty sure I could have did it for a couple more reps. That's pretty much his only. That's pretty much his like answer. It's kind of like Liver King asking like if someone asks him if he's natty, he goes, no, I would never touch that stuff. I'm primal. Right? And then I like the memes that people keep posting. When Liver King says he's natural, then you hear Roddy goes, it's just nothing. You got Tren, test that TRT, D-ball.
just the regular stuff.
He goes, just the regular. He just plays it out like the regular stuff. But the only I mean, I don't know. I don't really want to. I don't know if I'm gonna talk about any more of it. But the only other one I did want to give a shout out to is like C-Bum, just crushing physique still. Supposedly Ramon is catching up to him. People have been, yeah.
He looked great. That's what I was gonna say. Like, no shock for classic, right? Chris Bump said he's just like the prototypical like classic physique, like physique. He just like he just like embodies that class. So unless he like slips, like he could win it like the next like 5, 6, 7, 8 years as long as he's able to stay healthy. But Ramon looked dope. Ramon's made some like great improvements. I was really pumped to see him coming at second.
Yeah.
So he did a really good job. I was like looking into like Breon and Terrence, and apparently I think Breon may have made us. He did make a statement. He's moving to 212. I think Terrence is like strongly considering moving up to 212 because he just like he can't do it anymore, and I feel like, or I think he feels like he's sacrificing muscle to be able to like fit the weight cap for classic. So somebody like Terrence, he's such like an unbelievable poser. I want him to be able to like put on as much muscle like as he wants to or needs to be able to like fit the look he's looking for. Cause he's like, he's kind of like Kai Green in a way, a little bit more like nimble, not as like maybe like aggressive with like his moves and posing, but he's such a like a cool he's such a fascinating poser to watch. Like so it stinks about his placing. I think he might have been like 6th or something like that, maybe even further up. But I know he had a really hard time with like fitting the weight cap this year. So you end up just kind of looking like stringy and whatnot. I think there was one more that I want to call out. It was in the women's division. Women's fitness. Women's fitness, like, to me, is by far the most impressive of the different like categories. So basically won again this year. No shock there. But I want to call out Ariel Kadur, I think is how you say her last name. She was like really hard on herself in an Instagram post. She came in at 3rd, I think, this year. But she like just absolutely crushes in her routine. Like there might have been like a couple of like small slip ups and whatnot, but the kind of stuff she does, like 0.001% of the population can do those kind of moves. She'll do like human flagpole, or it's called like human flagpole or something like that, where she's like resting her body on like one arm while she's just like holding that pose, and then she'll like quickly go into something else. So I love the fitness routines. I think that's a really sick part of both like the Arnold and the Olympia.
That was speaking of that was probably one of the cooler parts of going to the Arnold and seeing it in person. Like we were just like amazed. We were like, what the? Because it's like kind of like a show. It's like, you know, it's like they put on like a pretty good show on the movements they do and like the performing arts stuff they do, like costumes. Like I don't know if that's the same woman you're talking about. I don't know if, because there was like someone that dressed up like they had like the big teeth and stuff, and I don't know who that was, but that was like, it was like creepy and like cool at the same time.
That's sick. She's been doing like a Terminator theme thing the past couple of years, so I don't know if that was her.
Oh, does she compete at the Arnold too?
I'm not sure. It's possible.
Okay, because I was gonna say, interesting. She's doing the Terminator stuff, and then she competed at the Arnold. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying anything, but I'm just pointing out that, you know, hey, if you're gonna compete with Terminator stuff, you might as well compete at the Arnold.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. Yeah, I bet you it's sick to see like the strong man, strong woman stuff at the Arnold too. That would be cool.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, like I said it, but I've seen like I saw Hafthor like do the lift the deadlift record, which I don't know if someone broke it already again, but yeah.
Oh, that was the year that you went?
Yep. It was I was so far back. It was so busy. There's so many people watching Hafthor. And I don't even think what was his name? Eddie Hall. He wasn't competing there. Brian Shaw was. So okay. I got to see Brian Shaw too, which was awesome.
That's really cool.
Which is funny. Brian Shaw was at the Olympia, and he just looked like a monster compared to the bodybuilders.
Yeah, he's like 6'8", 400 pounds or something like that. Brian Shaw's ridiculous.
Yeah, I just think it's funny because like most of the bodybuilders are pretty short besides like people like Chris Bumstead.
Yeah.
Cedric McMillan was pretty tall. I think he was 6'2". And I don't even think there's really, yeah. I mean, I met Flex Lewis, and Flex Lewis was like under my like pecs. Like he's like that short. So,
That's hilarious.
but I mean, his forearms were bigger than like my quads, so I can't really talk.
Oh, he's a beast. He's an absolute tank.
But yeah, I mean, we're pretty much at time, Roman. Did you want to add anything else? Maybe we could talk about that next time. The other subject of matter.
For sure. No, I think we pretty much went over everything. I don't really pay too much attention to men's physique. So shout out to the winner of men's physique. I think his last name is like Banks. But I don't really follow it too much. I was really excited to see Michael Krizo. I think his last name is technically like Krizanek. He came from like the European Premier League or something like that. So he came overseas, and he was saying that he was going to do that this year. So I was happy to see him compete. Him and like Ian Valier went like kind of they went like blow for blow over social media and whatnot. So that was cool to see him show up to the Olympia and compete. I think he came in at 12th. So hopefully that was a good experience for him. He was talking like a lot of smack about American bodybuilders. So hopefully he had a good experience. And it was pretty cool to see because he's an absolute monster. That guy is like probably 6'3", 6'4", like 315 pounds or something along those lines. He's ridiculous. Like check out that dude's pecs when you get a chance, buddy. Michael Krizo. Holy crap, that guy is ridiculous. But no, that was it. That's all I had.
All right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. Please follow us, like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.